What's up, Grow Fam? It's Wednesday.
Hey,
Once again, it's Wednesday, the middle of the week. We all need that little something to get us through the rest of the week, right? I don't know, but today's Wednesday. It's another Whalen Wednesday on Grow Fam. What's up, Grow Fam? How's it going, everybody? It's Wednesday once again. Switching audio tonight. Yeah, so tonight, okay, we're good to go. Grow Fam Wednesday, Whalen Wednesday. What's up, Grow Fam? Getting that middle of the week going on right now. We're gonna have a little sesh. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna give away Grow Fam box tonight. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Whalen Wednesday, powered by Grow Fam. All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. Whalen Wednesday on Grow Fam. We are on the Indoor Farmer Rumble channel as well. If you guys are interested in Rumble, ask me about that. But yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy midweek sesh. It's time to maybe, we'll have some fun and maybe find some information out at the same time. All right, what's going on, Grow Fam? Hello, everybody. Welcome to We Grow Wednesday. It is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024, guys. Let's get it on. Before we do, though, we definitely have a great show for you guys planned tonight, but definitely need to get those numbers up here tonight. And we'll see, we got some people coming in all over already. I see you guys commenting. I see Mr. Ash Grows in the house already, guys. Oh, hold on. Let me go put my phone on this charger right here real quick. There we go. Let's keep that phone charging up. Guys, as you can see, I'm in a spaceship tonight. There's a couple of reasons for that, but we're looking towards the future here at Maccabees Live Market. We've got some special guests for you tonight. We're going to be getting kind of technical. We're going to be getting into the agriculture world, which everybody is literally life and death connected to, right? So this is a pretty important episode for me. First time getting to know these fellas, and I'm hoping that we will be having them around a few more times here and there. So definitely, guys, hit the like button, smash it if you will, share us out with your friends. And I see some Rumblers already in the house, guys. We're live on Rumble, on Kick. We're live on YouTube, on X, on Facebook tonight. So let's get it going. without further ado, though, let's bring up tonight's guests. All right, we've got Ben and Josh here in the house. Josh, glad you made it, brother.
Hey.
The StreamYard is a weird thing, but it's actually helped a lot of us in a lot of ways. So definitely appreciate you for working with me on it. Guys, this is Josh and Ben. They are the duo of the Way to Farm podcast, but it's very connected with Singular Agronomics, right? So if you guys want to just introduce yourselves, Ben, go ahead, man. Just let who are you, what do you do, and then we'll see what Josh says.
Yeah, Ben Amrine here. I'm from Southwest Kansas, large-scale commercial farm. I also work CEO of Singular Agronomics. So in the ag space, born, raised, been here for a long time and just continue to keep pushing. So
right, I'm gonna get into that for sure. The born and raised part. Heck yeah. So Josh, what's up, bro? How's it going? You feeling all right today?
I'm doing okay. Yeah. Glad I made it in. It was a little hairy there trying to get everything connected here in the shop, but
you wouldn't be the first one.
Well, good. I guess rundown, fourth generation family farmer. Yeah, just run row crop and still in the cattle business some, but yeah, it's a busy space. Work was heavily involved with Singular, one of the owners there, and yeah, just rocking and rolling, living every day.
Cool. So you guys actually, I listened to a bunch of your podcasts today, and I was like, yeah, these are pretty chill guys. So we're gonna have a good talk today. Before I get too far though, I don't know if it shows up for you guys, but there is a link there that you can link your own account if you'd like to send it out to like your own, like your YouTube page or something like that. Or if later on, we could always give you the recording. Either way, it's no big deal. But I want to find out, are you mostly on, like I saw you on the YouTube, but is it mostly the Apple podcast? Where's the best place to find the podcast now?
Yeah, YouTube. So we're on YouTube, Spotify. We are on Apple Podcast. I would say YouTube is probably the best. First of the year we converted over to YouTube podcasting. Our social media guy and marketing director was like, "Hey, let's give this video podcast a try." And so far, yeah.
Well, I like it because you guys have this like immediate professional production look about it. I saw in those reels that go out, at least those are on Facebook, and I thought, well, I was like, where's the podcast? But you're doing it on the YouTube, and YouTube is tough. It's a tough cookie to crack, but for me especially. So I don't know if you got into anything that we do here at the Grow Fam, but there's a lot of we do some cannabis intake here, some medicinal use, and it's I'm a veteran and all that good stuff. Legal state, everything about it, but still the YouTube doesn't exactly love it. And you could argue whether or not viewers love it or not, but that's besides the point, right? So we'll get into that too. Maybe ask you fellas what your opinion is on it as farmers, as far as the legalities of it and whatnot. Maybe we'll get into the weeds, so to speak. But first, though, I want to find out. Actually, first, let me let the audience know. I know you're not used to doing this with the live audience, but they're all going to be here for a couple of giveaways tonight as well. So we're going to do a hashtag for the 34 Mongrels Genetics, a pack of beans from 34 Mongrels. Oh, excuse me. Our breeder of the month, they're calling it. Yes, the breeder of the month. And he actually was nice enough to give us a pack for every day or every time one of the Grow Fam members goes live. So that's awesome. Popeye says, I was thinking you. Oh, wow. You should start a podcast. Are you talking to me? No, you're talking to somebody else, aren't you, Popeye? I'm like, I should start a podcast. That's probably a good idea. And I know you guys are actually interested. Well, at least Aaron was talking about possibly getting me on the podcast, but feel free to obviously ask any questions in reverse because it's our first time meeting each other. So this is going to be
Right.
one of those kind of boring, kind of not boring, but like grueling, like, how was your childhood? You know, we're not going to go there. I'm kidding. But, you know, it's like, I hate those interviews. We want to get into something fun and interesting, but I do want to know the background of where you guys are. But before we get into it, I'm just catching up on the comments. Okay, we're good. Thank you guys for liking and sharing. And we're going to get the hashtag out while we let these fellas talk. So, I did see that you started the podcast around the same time as the company, but like you said, you were just because you're right here next to me. You said you were born and raised farmer life, farmer kid. So I want to hear a little bit about that because I was not raised in a farming household, so I'm one of the newer people. I heard in one of your shows, like the first generation farmer trying to figure it out, trying to get into it. And you have this whole like wealth of previous generation, knowledge. So it's an interesting, what made you continue doing it rather than going, F that stuff, I'm going to get into computer engineering or something. Let's hear it.
Well, okay. So from the beginning, right?
Well, you don't have to get too.
Yes, Ben. Yes, from the beginning.
I was not born in a barn or a cave.
There you go. That was a question. Yeah.
Yeah, we're rural, but not quite that rural. So born, raised, I'm fifth generation. Our operations considered very moderate scale for agriculture terms. We're 9,000 acre operation out here. Irrigation, dry land as well. We do all sorts of crops from one end to the other. Essentially being born into it, essentially your future is already kind of set that you're going to be in ag, being a boy in the ag industry. I know there's quite a few that get out, but that's essentially hard, though?
Did you feel that pressure? Like, was it
yeah.
Oh,
you're
yes.
the pressure. So, so born there, you're essentially, groomed to be in this industry. Everything you do is around that. Starting out in the ag industry, I started operating machinery, large scale machinery around 8. I actually had my own operation at 13. Was already full scale farming by that point, and been growing it ever since. So today, getting out with agronomic or singular agronomics and stuff, the whole vision is essentially we see guys all the time go belly up in these operations, making essentially bad decisions or decisions that they haven't learned in yet that can cost the whole operation. So in fact, even just last night, all the guys on the main team were texting about some of the hard lessons we had to learn. And so we've kind of brought that forward with this. And that's the vision we want to try to cast forward with the company, is helping guys adopt more regenerative, sustainable practices that can actually save an operator from costly mistakes in the future. So take our lessons and learn it so you don't have, learn from us so you don't have to make that mistake and cost you a couple $100,000 in a turnkey event. So I don't know if that's all your questions or not, but
no, I got plenty. I'm trying to give you both time to answer though, because it makes me think of so many more questions. But Josh, I want to let you get in here, bro. Like, were you like, in the barefoot in the mud, in the soil as a kid, like out in the.
No.
I actually did go to a farm as a kid once where I got to walk around in the corn barefoot. I guess that's a dangerous thing though. I got to be careful. People like die in those. Have you heard of this? Or somebody
in the grain bins?
Yeah, in the bins. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it can be a dangerous situation. Yeah, man, it could be. Yes, it could be. If you always have to use safety on the farm. But my background, let's see. No, I did not think I was going to farm. I had the opportunity in the med field to pursue being a surgeon. And when I was 18, my dad was involved in an electrical overhead power line accident. And anyway, it was a matter of take over the family farm that day or let it go. And anyway, so here I am farming today, but hasn't been an easy road, but it's all right. It's something I have learned to love. I certainly did not starting out. In fact, I probably had quite a few hard feelings towards agriculture, but Yeah, it's been cool to turn it into what I envisioned it to be and what it could be, and then now raising a family in that.
I saw some of the reels. I'm not sure which one. I think it was yours, Josh, with your son driving the tractor.
Yep.
That's got to be a fun thing for a kid, especially in that nice open field and all that. I actually did I did detassel as a kid about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, sure.
So I was out there in it. I did it enough. I was a crew boss. I actually liked the work, but I wasn't close enough to really be in any farm work on a regular basis. But I do. It's interesting to hear what you guys say about that. The upbringing into that world. I am coming at it from a different perspective, more logically thinking. There's really not many things I can think of that's more important than doing what you're doing or pursuing the knowledge, at least. Maybe not the commercial end, maybe not the scale that you're at, but being in that world, period. There's not, I mean, maybe medicine, and even medicine there's a lot of crossovers with herbs and the different sort of home remedies type medicine. So there's a ton of crossovers with that. So I love to talk to more commercial side farmers. I actually used to, during COVID, during the winter of COVID, 2020, everything was starting to lock down. All the farm bureaus were locked down. All the local firehouses were all locked down. Nobody was talking to anyone. And I took on a job that was a door-to-door salesman, the first time ever in my life. And the reason I did it was here. Let me show you this bad boy. This fire extinguisher right here is why I did it. And this fire extinguisher is a $900 fire extinguisher. It's refillable. It was free. They gave it to me. Thanks. I can use it.
I've got one sitting.
You got some AKE
for me right now? Yes, I do.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
got probably 7 of them on my operation.
They're incredible, but man,
They
it was
are
just the wrong time for me to try something like that. I just didn't get it off the ground. I'm coming back to AKE. I'm going to hit them up. I'm like, hey guys, you need to get into the podcast realm too, but because they are an interesting product. But
want to hear a funny story about that?
I do.
Okay,
Totally.
sweet. So I was sitting there outside working one day. I mean, we were slammed. We were trying to, we had so much going on. And this young guy pulls up in his car, and I'm like, great, somebody's coming in. I don't have time to talk. And this guy is like, hey, I'm selling fire extinguishers. I'm like, okay, that's all right. And he's like, come over. I'd like to show it to you. The dude lights a fire in the trunk of his car. I'm not kidding. Lights a fire, throws some sort of butane in the back of his trunk, throws a match in there. It poofs up into flame, and he shoots this thing from a ways away at an awkward angle, and that thing circled in and put the fire out.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We could talk about that all day, but we'll move on. Well, you and I we'll talk about it later sometime. I'm sure.
There you go.
Well, because fire, is such a big thing. People don't think about it with farming. You guys, we could get off on all sorts of tangents for sure. I do want to focus our first meeting though on the podcast and the company. But man, I think we could go for days because a couple of things I'll just let you know ahead of time. I'm going to ask you about what you think, what your opinions are on more new age, like indoor farming, vertical farming, that kind of thing. We're going to get into that. But we're going to get into the Singular Agronomics first because that's kind of the overarching, goal or your main sort of vision, right? Is that right, or is that just what you work with? I mean, is it because Aaron was telling me that your end goal sort of was to move towards, like Ben was saying, helping people from not losing their ass when they try it or when they get into it. So I don't know how to word it exactly, but are you going to be more consultant based in the future? Does that make more sense? I don't know.
Yeah, so we've got several phases we're trying to go through this as. It can be quite a long conversation. I don't even know how many conversations me and Josh have had that can last hours about it. But my background initially comes, in the ag business world is from water management. And so just things to move forward to in the future, we need to water is ultimately going to be one of our bigger issues coming forward. So that's an area we're going to move eventually. But these are just one phase after another trying to accomplish an ultimate goal.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're maybe we're all doing this where we kind of have too many irons and too many fires. You know, you kind of start to spread yourself too thin, and that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get to the point where I have a product, and you know, I keep getting distracted. We'll just say that. So let me ask you: is there anything that you could give advice? I guess we'll give some advice for farmers specifically, because the business is one thing, but you have that direct knowledge of farming, both of you. So you know, I just want to actually before that, I want to point out I'm happy that you guys did stick through it and continue into the ag industry, because you know, it's more important than we can even imagine right now. Like, the food is like everything. It's connected with, like, half of the problems in the world have to do with, you know, food supplies and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, let's hear, like, maybe if you have or maybe, well, actually, honestly, guys, go watch or listen to their podcast. They have a bunch that are audio, but then they have a few video now, like 4 or 5 now since the beginning of the year. But yeah, that's good stuff. I think you're definitely much more informative. You guys come from a place of knowledge, bringing that to the podcast world. I'm like the everyman, the noob. You know, I'm like the Joe Rogan of growing stuff and things. So yeah, what do you think? Is there anything, like, the person that, not a farmer, but like the person that's like, hey, I want to grow something. What would you tell that person? You probably don't even know.
It's just,
like, that's so far away from
okay. So you would think that farms are like high tech and we know everything going on and we got all this high stuff, you know, science behind us and stuff. And you'd really be surprised a lot of operations don't. You good down there, Josh?
Yeah, I had someone try to call me and it paused my whole screen.
Oh, gotcha.
It does.
But yeah, we get a lot of guys that come in the ag space and really not realize that soil is a living, breathing thing. I wouldn't say the complex of what we are, but very similar, particularly in our digestive systems compared to the plant systems. Soil biology, biome, all those things all relate quite closely. So first advice that I usually give guys is researching in the correlation between soil health and, particularly in our case, crops, but in, you know, smaller cases, food quality, food nutrition density, things like that. So that would be my first thing, which is a research project, but that would definitely be the first place I would start people.
You're totally right, because people will do compost with stuff that maybe shouldn't be in their compost, for one example.
Yeah. So compost can be complex. It seems simple, but it's not. Put the wrong things in it, you can drive the wrong reaction, have a wrong, you know, particularly not a end product that you're looking for.
Would you guys consider yourselves survival ready, or just, you know, how to grow the big crop, or, you know, like how, because in my head, sustainability is very similar to many things, like, you know, a good hunter with good, you know, practices environmentally, and a survivalist, you know, a hiker. There's a lot of similarities in knowing the land, knowing the nature, knowing, I mean, you know what I'm saying? The connection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you both hunt? Maybe is that something pretty common with farmers? Are you hunters too?
Fair amount. Yeah.
There you go. See, that's a
Yeah.
good.
So I would say that the farmer is probably more prepared for just about anything than most people on Earth. Just because we have to wear so many hats. We have to be mechanics, we have to be electricians, we have to be businessmen, we have to be, you know, operators of equipment. We have to have, you know, be able to communicate with people. We have to know the weather. We have to, you know chemistry in regards to raising and, you know, keep maintaining a profitable crop. I mean, there's just so many aspects that we have to It's not, not be masters of everything, but experienced in everything.
Popeye, that was not a dumb question, because you know what? I am worried about some farmers, because I've talked to some that it seems like let me know if you think this is unusual. I'm in Illinois. I actually don't know what state you're in, but I've talked to some farmers that don't grow their own food. They have this many acres of corn or whatever it is, and that they don't. There's no other, like, they're not doing their other stuff. They're not making homemade jam. They're not doing other things. And there's some that are, maybe that's rare. Maybe that's on the rare side of farmers. But I worry about a farmer that is very tunnel visioned into, like, I'm paid by the government to grow wheat, so that's all I grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of being like, hey, because I've talked to some farmers, and actually cannabis farmers, and I've been laughed at, where I said, well, do you have a vegetable garden? You grow some of your own food? And there's no money in that. What do you mean? You eat, don't you? Like, you have to buy it. So what do you mean there's no money in that? So it's just a funny kind of contrast. They kind of get stuck on that. That's their crop. They make a lot of money on it, so they can buy whatever food they want. You know what I mean? There's a disconnect there between the person that, if things break down, we're trying to go to farmers to feed ourselves. Farmers markets now are such a huge thing. Are you thinking about going to farmers markets with a podcast? That would be a fun thing. I've seen a couple of those now out at markets, but for you guys especially would be good.
I would say what we're trying to do in our niche little, I don't want to say market, but we found that our niche is more helping farmers do a better job with what they've got. There's lots of room for improvement on lots of people's operations, and we just want to basically take our message of how we become, better stewards of the land, how we created a healthier crop, how we become more efficient in regards to, reducing fertilizer, herbicide, things of that nature. Awesome. We got a lot of guys implementing cover crops. We got a lot of guys implementing, composting is a big thing right now. And so it's really, how can we help guys do better and become more sustainable, more efficient in their own operations instead of just doing what they've always done.
Totally. I love this, because it's kind of similar to what eventually I'd like to help people with. If I can create a sort of cookie cutter version of my indoor setup, and I could help others set it up kind of similarly. But for you guys, it's like, I've always had this idea. What if we had companies that would just do house calls to help people stay on a sustainable track? Like, say, like kind of like what you're doing, except for with a lot of things, like, say, help someone set up their rainwater collection and explain to them what that's about, like a service to help people that don't know how to be sustainable get on that track, because it does cost a little bit to convert things, to buy some of the equipment, even if you're going to repurpose stuff, and that kind of thing. So I'm learning that myself. I like repurposing, but repurposing materials isn't always a good idea, especially if it's got like plastics or paints or any, things that you got to be careful with. So it's been crazy. I'm glad that you guys are out there. We need to replant. We need to revitalize the soils. The soils are terrible. Okay, let's get into the indoor farming, I guess, Ben. What do you think? And Josh, what do you guys think about there's some countries out there that have like warehouse farms now that are just churning it out? I mean, you think that's just not as healthy? What's the opinion of the
when you say warehouse farm, what do you mean by a warehouse farm?
Like in the Netherlands, they have like a tower, like greens that are basically aeroponics with just mist going on the roots and the backside. And they have just these towers, inside of a building, and they grow it in mass. So you can't grow everything like that, but what do you guys
when you get into things like that, hydroponics, things like that, they're feeding nutrition, plant available nutrition into those plants at what we understand they're using, because it continues to evolve on how it uses it, when it uses it, and what it does as it's going through its cycles of reproduction. So grain, forage, all these things fall into this wheelhouse. But what we've really started to understand is when it comes down to soil biology, there's a symbiotic relationship between those, and particularly when it comes to nutrition demand. So when you take soil out of it, it starts making things a little more iffy. For example, healthy to unhealthy soil, one I talk about on the podcast all the time is just wheat. You get 2000, there was I can't remember who did the study, but anyway, pulled samples in 1912 and then again in 2012, and then compared the nutrition density within that grain. And it was a drop in nutrition density of 75%. And that's all correlating to soil health. So wheat is a non-GMO until recently. So those take genetics off. It's just hybrid breeding and things like that till now.
Speaking of hybrid breeding, it's weird to me. It's off a subject, but it's weird to me that a bunch of our sort of traditional vegetables are like hybrids over like hundreds of years, where we've messed with them like on a more natural, I don't know if it's more natural basis, I guess, but more hands-on than say genetics. Like a carrot. I think a carrot's not even a real, it's like a hybrid vegetable or something like that. Anyway, a bunch of stuff like that. It's weird. We're messing with the natural way to feed ourselves with all of the crops. So what do you suggest as far as keeping that same area revitalized? Do you do what's it called? Where you rotate the crops, right? There's rotation, there's cover crops, there's companion planting and such like that. And so what's your favorite, what's your go-to method, guys? What's what's your main, Josh, what's the biggest crop that you grow right now? What are you growing? Corn, or you got wheat? What is it? Beans?
I would say corn and soybeans, and wheat mixed in there as well. And I would say, there's this large disconnect anymore between agriculture and the world. And there's been a lot of, there's been a lot of light shed on agriculture thanks to a lot of social media. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there dedicated to life on the farm, and some really great channels. But there's this disconnect that all of a sudden, farmers are out there trying to, they're poisoning our food and they're killing our food and they're spraying everything with, glyphosate, and it's a lot of, it's this terrible, farmers are terrible. Well, thing is I don't know any farmer that wants to do a poor job. I really don't. I know a lot of farmers who are uneducated on how to do a better job. And so there is, there's this fine line between, I'd say the mass populace needs to realize that there's a lot of farmers that want to do a better job, and there's a lot of people that are, shifting to, let's just say, the organics world, but it's not something that you can transition to immediately. There are guys
look like it, right?
Yeah, we've worked with guys who have attempted to do that, and they have borderline, some of them have gone bankrupt and lost everything just because they entered it too fast. And so there's this transition time where the world needs large scale agriculture to feed the world. And otherwise, if I talked to my wife about this the other day, she's like, why don't more farmers go organic or things of that nature? And there are a lot of farms that are going that way. But if everyone did, there would be mass famine, because the amount of food that would be reduced in production would be, Ben, I don't even know, I don't even know the hit to the supply food chain.
So I'll chime in a little bit here. So there's something like Josh, you said, the disconnect. And when it comes to large scale commercial operations, most of those are livestock food production. And then they feed the red meat market, the poultry market, and all these other things. Even seafood is being fed from some of our wheat crops that aren't that great, goes into shrimp production and things like that. So it's mostly feed. When you start talking produce, so tomatoes, carrots, all these other produce that you you grow. If you want good quality, healthy produce, it's at home. You're not going to get the stuff out of the store that's going to be near as much like at home. They're
Right.
picking it's all about one, appearance. We see this in the red meat market. It's all about the way it looks. A lot of people won't pick up a natural tomato compared to one that's been polished with wax inside a grocery store. So appearance is one. That it's going to make a big difference. It's not going to look as good as some of them you're seeing in the store. They've been enhanced for appearance. In the U.S. in particular, we see more of that done here than anywhere. And we have guys that grow carrots, sugar beets, blueberries.
Blueberries, yeah.
Yeah, so we're all over the board in that.
Blueberries are crazy, but go ahead.
Yeah, so there's just this whole wide range. But if you want good, clean quality, it's at home. You're going to have to grow that at home. In the future, that's where we see us really going, is the good quality, nutritionist food is going to be grown at home.
Somebody, they wanted to see they wanted to know your podcast, and I put the wrong name in here. But yeah, guys, it's the Way to Farm podcast. You're going to see that on YouTube mostly now. They're transitioning to the video podcast, so definitely want to show them some love over on the YouTube. We are live on YouTube in two different pages, the Grow Fam and the Indoor Farmer. So guys, if you got the YouTubes, go follow our new friends and go hit the like button on the stream right now. Several blueberry bushes. Yeah, blueberries, that struck me because they're high dollar, like they're valuable, and they're harder to deal with because you got to make sure that they're pollinated correctly. So I always thought it'd be fun to grow those indoors. But so actually, to your point about soil, though, I've been working with vermiculture and indoors, and I'm actually thinking of doing a living soil bed. It's above the ground. It's almost like a pool table size grow bed that I built. Repurposed materials, but I was going to fill it up with some worm castings and some living, all kinds of goodies, and start growing out of it right here inside. Got to be careful, ventilation and all the good stuff. But I do aquaponics with the fish tank, and the fish tank water gets cycled through the plants. And I heard you guys talking about the nitrites or the nitrates. Overload and such, and I think that's basically the way that this system works, is it's just nothing but it's overload. But I want to try to create a more diverse system over time, adding different things. You can add worms into it and everything like that. So guys, make sure you get in on this hashtag. Let's go check it out. We're at 22 people want some 34 Mongrels Genetics out of the 60 people we got watching right now. Come on, guys. So now we got 70 people watching, and only 20 people want in on the hashtag. Actually, I don't know. So let's get into that, I guess, because you guys are welcome to get in on this if you want. I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm just guessing, but you may not be users of the cannabis. I'm just guessing this. Either of you? No.
Not a user. No.
What's your opinion on this, the whole craze? Like, do you think it's just everyone's full of shit when we talk medicine, or is it sort of just like anything else where there's nuance? What do you guys think?
Well, so my opinion. Do what?
Is it legal where you are? Sorry.
No, not yet. No, neighbors are, but not here. So,
I think about every state around us is legal.
Yeah. I guess my opinion, particularly you talking around the medical side of it, or what?
Really, I mean, if anybody that's watched me long enough, they know that I am, I fully admit that it's not for everybody. For one, it is medical, but it is also recreational. For instance, like if I wanted to do a little dabaroonie here with the Grow Fam members, I would pull out my guy here, and then that would be considered recreational. So as long as you're honest about it, I think, because people like to say that it's not a drug, and let's be honest, food is a drug. Anything that changes your physical or mental state, the caffeine, the food, the alcohol, everybody just loves something out there, right? I'm all messed up over here. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I'll do that here in a minute, guys. But anyway, the thing about anything is you have to keep an eye out on overindulgence, just like the interwebs, just like our cell phones, and all of it. What is it that you guys think that that you might be missing out there in the farms? You guys have you got internet probably, right? The satellite probably sucks every now and then out there in the middle of
His place does.
all you. Yeah, okay. On the middle of the field, no one can get a hold of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing. I think it's good to be disconnected sometimes. I'm kind of
we're not as farmers aren't. I would say farmers are a lot more technically advanced than society gives for. A lot of people envision farmers as still wearing overalls and sitting on an open cab tractor when there is actually more technology in a combine than there was on the first spaceship.
So I think that's why I'm on the spaceship right now, because I want to know about like the future of farming. We're gonna have farms on the moon. We got to have farms on the space stations. You know, you might be right about the soil and the nutrient loss, but hey, you know, we might have to accept that loss in order to go where no man has farmed before. You know, what do you think about Mark was it Mark Wahlberg? No, it was Matt Damon growing his poop potatoes on Mars.
Yes, I remember that show.
Like that's a little rough. Like, I don't know if that would really work, but yeah,
I don't know. You're talking sterile soils then, and it gets to be a lot more iffy on whether or not that works. But that everybody in that space knows that as well. So
there's so much complex, like you were saying, complexity to the soil. You're limited. You could like take leafy greens, you could do aquaponics, I guess, in space. The fish probably wouldn't care about the 0G. Interesting. Just thought of that. Anyway, but yeah, there's a future in farming, guys. We gotta I don't think we need to keep just plowing more land. You know, I like, you could actually vertically farm with also using the soil too. Have you seen any sort of tower farming that's on the ground outside in the soil? But it goes up taller, and then you get more sunlight that way. I think there are ways to do it, because one of the problems with making more farmland is that it actually displaces the local ecology, the local wildlife and everything. And so I don't know. What do you fellas think about that? Like, should we maybe we could terraform areas that people don't want to live? I mean, that's I don't know if that's ever going to work out.
Most of agriculture is places people don't want to live.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was like nice weather places where people would want to live. Yeah.
No.
No.
Outside most time.
It's blowing like 40 miles an hour. I'm still digging dirt out of my eyes from today.
Oh yeah.
You know, well, and here's not necessarily an answer to that question. Here's kind of the flip side. So much of development and growth of cities is taking away farmland. You know, lots and lots and lots of farmland is disappearing. We actually talked to a guy last week in Florida who he grew up on a family farms all around him, and now there is I don't remember. I think he said he has to drive 40 miles to get to the first field now.
Wow.
I mean, just think about how much land has been swallowed up by development. You know, there used to be tons and tons of people that lived in rural America, and now it's much fewer.
So there's a show where I can't remember. I just remember what it's about. Can't remember the name, but essentially what happens when people are gone. Like, if you could flip a switch and everybody's gone today, what would happen? And a large part of things is that there's a large loss of life in the wildlife. And it's due to so much feeding off the agriculture industry. So, you know, the rodent populations are greatly dependent on ag. Deer populations, Josh definitely could agree with that.
I am an outdoor animal enthusiast. So, yeah.
So they feed a lot. So there's essentially this nature has become dependent on humanity as much as we are on it.
Yeah, it does change too. Yeah, I think you mean you hit the nail on the head. Nature changes with us, even if we are doing everything that we think is, you know, perfect for what we, you know, like our limited knowledge of it. It does change. Like we found I bring this up all the time, but there's bacteria that eat plastic now, and there's like a mushroom, like a mycelium that's eating plastic now too, stuff like that. So I think, to your point, there's always there's always something changing to match us. But like just kind of like this whole the insect theory, where the windshield theory, I kind of feel like insects maybe just don't like, maybe they just avoid the highways now. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm kidding, kind of, but yeah, we need our diversity in the ecosystem, but I think things do change and evolve. I think I could totally see us vertically farming with soil. Being done.
They do that in Japan already.
Yeah, well, I've also seen where the rice fields, the rice paddies, they found, I believe it was China, they found instead of creating the rice fields, they are now floating rice paddies over on lakes and on the sea, freshwater sea, wherever that is. But that's aquaponics right there. So what do you think about that, Ben? Come on, there's no soil under there, although there is, but it's like,
yeah, I mean, it's contained in something.
It's in there. It's just not.
Yeah, microorganisms are within that water. That water is not pure by any means. So
that's going to be good stuff for sure. I kind of want to do some outside aquaponics, but that's tough too, because you got to keep the waterways have to maintain clean and not clog up and stuff. With all the trees around me, I'd be screwed. But guys, we're almost to that 50-minute mark, so make sure you get in on the hashtag before we do the first run, and then we are going to run another giveaway for a ticket over at the Canna Connect new group that I guess we're giving out some tickets for some giveaways over there. So we'll do that after the 34 mongrels. Guys, I saw a lot of good questions. I apologize that I couldn't get to all of them, but we'll look back here. If you guys have any questions, ask it now. I'm not going to scroll back up there, but yeah, what do you guys think? Is there any questions that you have for the sort of the non-farmer community out there, where you're like, I like that you brought up some of the stigmas and things, because there are some, I will push back a little bit. Farmers like you guys are probably technically connected, but I met plenty of, what seemed like 95-year-old, farmer that was like, and I actually wanted to get one of those guys on my podcast. I was like, man, they've got some of the best jokes, like some of the just, wiry humor, man. Those guys, you guys know them. They're just like hilarious. They'll bust your chops faster than you even say hello, man. That's great. But yeah, I never could get one of those fellas on. It was crazy. I'd go out to farms asking if I could show you a fire extinguisher when they're all worried about COVID. I couldn't even get up close to the door. I had one guy that doxed me online. It's a local city, Hannah City. He went to their like Facebook page and posted a picture of me and says, anyone know who this man was? He was out at my farm and he knocked on my shed and stuff. I was just looking for someone home, and and he's out here posting pictures of me. And I commented in there, said, yeah, hey, whatever his name was, I'm just out here showing off this fire extinguisher. Woo. Yeah, that was a weird one. But yeah, no, I think we definitely need more connection between farms and farm to table. What do you think about the farmers markets now popping up everywhere? They're mostly not full scale farmers. They're just like small people like myself that's growing, a tenth of the size of a crop that what you guys grow. Farmers market.
All for them. I think they're
great. I think it's a really neat experience. I mean, that's how humanity has exchanged product for hundreds and hundreds of, I don't know, I don't want to say thousands, because I mean probably years is meeting up and exchanging goods. You've got the cattle guys, you've got the vegetable people, you got so on and so forth. I mean, I'm all for it. I enjoy going to them with my wife and kids.
Then there's those houseplant people. What's going on with those people? I don't know.
Married to one.
Yeah, you got. I was going to ask you guys too, like if you're growing anything indoors. So I got some houseplants, right? Do you guys have a garden at home, small, like your own personal thing on the side, or?
I've got aloe vera plant.
Go ahead,
I've got an aloe vera plant for when I burn the piss out of myself.
Yes. Smart. I've done that.
My wife is the garden fanatic, and when she needs help in the garden, whether it's, I don't know, generally it's something ag related, that's when I come into play. But the rest of the time, I let her and the boys do majority of that.
Yep.
That's what I mean. The farmers aren't also in the garden. It's a weird disconnect to me. Have you ever grown vegetables?
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, I think it's super important so I take my kids out. My oldest son can tell you more about soil than a lot. I mean, quite a few farmers actually. And I'm quite proud of that, just teaching him about the land and how dirt works. And we find, he can pick up a worm and tell you what a worm does in soil and how it benefits plants, and so, you know, eh, for me, it's the next generation of, if he wants to farm, that's great. Or one of my other kids, if he doesn't want to, that's fine. But I mean, Ben and I'll call each other and he's got a cab full of kids, in there, and everyone's riding with dad, and vice versa. And it's different because it used to be where people could grow their own food and they were self-sufficient and it didn't take much to live. Well, we live in this world, unfortunately, where it costs a lot of money to live. So we still have to do, enough to make a living, grow the family farm. And unfortunately, it has disconnected, dads from that direct connection with the family, not on all scale, but on quite a bit of scale. We kind of have to choose, you know, what do you want in life? Do you want to provide, for your family income wise, and how much time you want to be at home? And ag is tough because some days you got to work 20 hours a day and you're trying to beat a storm. And then there's other days where we get to take off, for a few days or a couple of weeks so we can be slow and take time with the family and do other things.
Well, all cheers to that, fellas. Apologize. I hope it's not too, just ice. You can avert your eyes if you got to, but I'm going to take a little medicinal intake with the fam here. We're going to do this giveaway right afterwards. But yeah, I totally get the generational thing. I think kids wouldn't even. I almost said, "We'll just explain to them how important food is," But then, like, kids aren't necessarily going to get that lesson right away. Did your dads ever say that, or were they just like, "Well, this is a family business," or were they like, "Hey guys, every single person on the planet has to eat"? It's like you say that a few times, like, "Oh well, this is pretty important,"
Right.
That's my new mantra. I say at the end of the show, it's like, that's why I'm doing this. I mean, some of my shows, like I do a review show on Tuesdays, which is basically the same thing, because I go to small businesses that are out here doing it themselves, that no one's telling them to go and start a business. No one's telling them to get up in the morning and clock in and go to work. There's no boss over your shoulder. Excuse me. It's the same thing as farming. You got to be a business person, got to be an entrepreneur. And that same sort of do-it-yourself mentality, you got to have that in order to survive, right? If things go to hell or whatever, even in good times, you still got to have the food. So there's not many things more important, like I said earlier, and I do appreciate the knowledge, and I appreciate the fact that you're probably still fighting a lot of the same battles the rest of us are. Politics, you almost have to be a politician as a farmer as well. People like to hide from politics, but if you're going to be a farmer, there's a lot of legislation going around all the time that has to do with our ag. I'm sure you guys can point to some. Is there any good websites that you would point to? Because I use a website called Farm Week now, but it's hard for me to find a good source that I would trust on, like, what's a good crazy story happening in agriculture today or whatever.
Yeah.
I try to bring that up to the Grow fam. It's not just cannabis on Wednesdays. They may not love it all the time, but there's 75 people hanging out to watch it, so we're down.
Josh, what kind of policies you seeing?
What do you think? There's some craziness happening right now. I think there's a few.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to get into politics.
No, we don't have to get into like your.
You're right though.
But
there's
you know
a
what
lot
I mean?
of politics.
Yeah, just
in
the
ag.
there's generalization.
There is a lot of politics in ag. I don't know.
So you got to kind of pay attention a little bit. You can't just be, I just love plants and I want to, go to farmers markets and be happy and stuff. You have to pay attention to not just the regulation, but then you have like EPA issues, and there's people that always want to, maybe not on your level, but any kind of food, there's always somebody that wants to sue because they got sick one time or whatever. Like for instance, I have an insured business. My farm, Maccabees Live Market, shouts out, is insured, but they told me I cannot grow sprouts or it voids the insurance because of how many cases that they've had in I don't know
salmonella.
Where. Yeah, things like that. There were situations. Yeah, so they're like, nope, you can't grow sprouts. I'm like, wow, that's funny because it's like
salmonella is a nitrogen fixing bacteria. That's also a neat little fact.
What do you guys think about greenhouses? I mean, we talked about the vertical farms, but you can do soil in greenhouses all year long. I could build like a giant dome, biodome farm.
We've actually got several guys that do large scale greenhouse. Some of the blueberry growers, they do seedling starts and stuff there as well. So
nice. That might be the better
they're
alternative.
a lot easier to control. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So.
Diane, I don't want to pull the boys into anything too crazy, but she's asking about why is Bill Gates buying the farmland. I actually looked into that. He has some farm. He has a lot of farmland, but he doesn't have nearly as much as what China's bought of our farmland. So we don't need to go down that road. But yeah, if you look into the differences, like it's almost nothing compared to what they've purchased, which is a little bit more concerning. But yeah, I don't shy away from these topics, and I came up with we do a show on Thursday nights. That's where we bring people together to bring perspective about common topics, and sometimes politics comes up, and that to me is still sustainability, because even if a farmer can live all on his own and do all of the things, you still got to have people, to interact with to have a society, right? Like there's probably so Josh looks like he maybe you could live on your own out in the woods forever, right? But there's very few people that can really do that, like for real. Like we got to have each other, to make this whole thing work, right?
So no, I enjoyed the survivalist mentality growing up as a kid. I mean, starting fire, I probably started too many fires as a kid, but the whole, and I don't know, I think every guy to some degree respects, an outdoorsman to a degree, whether, whatever they might be doing, whether they're hunting or fishing or mountain climbing, things of that nature. I think we're all very driven towards that to a degree.
Homesteading. I want to be a homesteader.
There you go. We hear a lot about that. My wife is I don't know. I'll come inside at night and she's sitting there talking to her homesteading group online.
Nice. Well, there's different variations of homesteading. I mean, it depends on how far away from civilization you are, I guess. When it comes to
what would you consider far from civilization?
Well, for instance, I used to watch the Alaska The Last Frontier show about the family of I forget the name of the family. I heard they kind of faked some of it, but I'm guessing that's every reality show out there. But yeah, that's a bit remote, Alaska.
That is remote. I've been there several times.
There's only 100,000 people that live in Alaska, I believe, something like that. It's not too many. I'm guessing on that number, so don't quote me on it. But just watched a real video. Robots were actually doing certain farm. Oh yes, that's a good point there, Olive. Robots, yes, and that's funny. But you guys probably point to the drones. The drone work on farms now is huge. There are some robots, actual on ground like wheels. That there's some AI that will plant like small gardens for you and stuff like that. What do you think of that? Are you going to be replaced anytime soon? Going to be like a
autonomous is a big thing. So we've got pivots, we've got drones that automatically scout. We have tractors.
Pivots is irrigation.
Yeah, irrigation. We have tractors that are totally self-driving, no operator at all.
Wow.
A lot of that, but we see a lot of people moving to the cities, and it gets a lot harder to get people to do work. Especially as the time scales continue to shrink, we just have to do it more. that thing needs to run 24 hours a day. How are you going to keep somebody in there 24 hours a day? Well, you don't. You shift work it, or you put a robot in there. So it's shifting that way. Orchards use autonomous tractors for years. So yeah, I see ag moving more that way.
So you think people are moving more towards the city? I feel like there's people moving out of the city, but they may not be necessarily moving to somewhere that they're going to go be a farmhand. That might be like the disconnect. Like, because I know people.
A lot of people want to go to rural, but rural is harder and harder to get in. I can't remember how many farms are lost every year. I used to know that statistic, but it's less. People there. It's more large scale.
Well, I'm actually the challenge that you present with the nutrients density as far as indoor farms, because my moniker is the indoor farmer, but it's not necessarily because I hate outdoors. It's because I feel like with some of the issues we already brought up, population and everything, and the farmland, we're going to have to move towards a more vertical or indoor way to do it, which we've already talked about ways maybe we could bring soil with that process. So that's a good point. I think that either way, we still have to find ways to revitalize the land that we've destroyed, like some of the chemicals and some of the areas where we've had plant power plants and things. We have one in my city that it's this whole area that we're going to make a park there, but then found out that it was just had stuff too deep in the soil. So there are ways to remediate, I guess, the soil. So between that, maybe doing a little bit of vertical farming, I think combined, we might be okay. Because technically we have a lot of space here on the planet, right? Like there's still there's a statistic that says every person on the planet could live in Texas or whatever and have I forget, it was like a square mile, or not square mile, but 1 acre of land. I don't know how true that is, but I just think we need to be better, efficient, more efficiency. One of you said you were an efficiency guy. I forget which podcast that was. That was you, Ben? Yeah,
yep.
I'm all about efficiency, reusing materials, reducing your waste in some way. That's why I actually plan to create a power plant that runs with the aquaponics system, and I'm going to put the fish to work. See, because the fish don't stop moving. So the water tension. We could just make them zap up that. They'll be like really tired after a while. Okay, I mean it's a thought. Actually, I have a ton of thoughts, but we're going to do this spin now. We're over the hour mark. Let's get this up on the big screen. Thank you guys for coming. I know I ramble a lot and I have so many questions, but
no problem.
It's been a good introduction. I think the focus on soil, I think, is probably the key focus. I mean, you could focus on water, but that is still going to the soil. The soil is kind of the end, where the rubber meets the road, I guess you might say. All right, Alan, yeah, make sure you guys get in there. 38 people out of 75. Okay. True story. And we live in an area of chicken smell. Oh yeah. Okay. So I don't know how much you guys want to talk about your competitor. Well, I don't know if you want to call every farmer in the world your competitor, but like Tyson chicken and like that kind of stuff, that's the stuff that those are the freaky things that people want to avoid when, yes, we need a lot of food, but is there a better way to get healthier food? And I think, to your point, you're trying to do that. But livestock is a different thing, man, with some of these factory farms and the cows all hooked up to machines and stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird one.
Well, we both work pretty heavily in livestock, and we've got a
good luck, everybody.
Rather enormous network in the livestock world. So the livestock's nothing new to us.
I want to get into it eventually. I'd like to have chickens and goats. I don't know if I'll ever have a cow or not, but Margaret Jett, congratulations. And guess what? She is here, but she doesn't have to be here because Margaret is one of my subscribers over there on the indoorfarmer.locals.com. Shouts out. And she may not even be here, but you know what? She doesn't have to be. So congrats, Margaret. I'm going to write that down real quick. Yeah, thegrowfam.com is the website for for this group that we're in right now. I mean, I hate to. It's hard to. It's a company, but it was a Facebook group, and so now it's become so much more, and we're live on multiple platforms, so it's hard to call it a Facebook group anymore. But yeah, Grow Fam, they're building their homestead out in Colorado, and it's going to be a place where you can go and like an Airbnb kind of a place. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, to your points though, guys, I think, you know, we have to have the volume, but I don't know. Do you think we really need to be eating so much soy and wheat? Like, it's not really, it's just feed for us too. It's not, there's not a lot of health value or nutrition value in it, you know?
Soy is used in poultry uses a ton of soy, and so does pork.
Is that good for us though? Eating the meat that eats all that, or do we?
It depends on how much it carries. I don't know if it carries just a ton due to they're more designed to consume grains and lectins and things like that.
Fiber. Yeah, I said fiber. Well, fiber is not as needed if you don't eat as much plant material. Actually, I did the carnivore diet and found out that you don't actually have to have any fiber at all if you don't eat vegetables, which is crazy. But yeah, you know, I don't think that's a long-term answer. Some people have done the carnivore diet and then never stopped, but that's only a few people. I've tried it. It's fun. It's good for a few weeks. Like, you're very energized and just crazy. But yeah, this is I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think fiber is one thing, but it's not everything. We eat too much bread and stuff, and we're all just getting fat on it. You know, you got to eat more meat. So, what's your favorite game? What do you guys? What do deer? You do fowl? What do you hunt? Quail.
Favorite thing to hunt or favorite wild game to eat?
Well, to eat. Yeah,
to eat. I'd say elk or moose. Elk or moose is my favorite.
No snipes. Don't go snipe hunting.
No.
Oh,
No.
Elk. Oh man, when you hear Joe Rogan talking about, you know, a nice elk hunt where he gets to eat like this, whatever you call the salad that's in their stomach of the stuff, the veg of like the local.
He doesn't do that.
You don't think so?
No, 100%. I have a friend of mine works on the ranch that he hunts on. They eat the heart. They eat the heart. But I mean, civilization has done that since the beginning of time.
Organ meats are important. I think I haven't done it myself, but they say that's the best part of the plant or the animal for you.
Well, what's interesting is to watch a predatory animal and see what they eat first. That is always really interesting. Whether it's an eagle, when they take down a goose, that was probably one of the most interesting. One of the more interesting outdoor experiences I've ever had is watching an eagle take down a goose and then see what they ate first.
Wow. Like, you're kind of seeing what they pick, or which animal was easy for them to.
Just to see what the eagle ate first was really probably the most interesting part.
I know somebody that has they do a chicken. They have a big chicken coop. They call it Chicken City, and they have it on a 24-hour live stream on YouTube, I think. And they make like a couple $1,000s a day on people that send in super chats, they call it, where it's a paid chat. And when so many of those chats come through, I think it's $1,000, maybe it's every $100. I can't remember. But then a chicken party happens where a bunch of lights come up and music, and this box opens up with like some mealworms that's in the ceiling, drops mealworms down, and the chickens come from everywhere, and they all just, so chickens are crazy.
I thought of that.
Chickens are crazy. Like, you guys know this. They're carnivores. They eat almost anything. It's crazy.
Yep.
All right, guys. Canna Connect is the next hashtag. So, is there anything that you haven't ever gotten to do that you'd like to do that you just can't do because you're on a farm all the time? Like, what is it? Like, you guys ever been on like a tall building somewhere in the city? Go to the city very often?
Oh yeah, we travel all over. We fly international for work, and we've been in most of the bigger cities. So we're not like
I
we're just
have
born in
seen
a
buildings
bar.
before.
You play a banjo? No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
no,
kidding.
No,
maybe
sure
drums.
don't.
Well, that's cool though. I mean, I think cities need to talk to farmers more, man. Like they need to know that people just they have this disconnect to the food. The food, it's in the grocery store. It's just right down the street. What do you mean? Like what? You know that was made somewhere, right? What's up, Paul? What's up, guys? All right, yeah, get in on this. We'll do this. We'll hold this up for a little while. I want to make sure you guys know if you have, whenever you need to go, you're welcome to go. But I'll be on for about another 50 minutes. But there's no rush. If there's anything that you wanted to shout out, definitely want to make sure everybody goes and follows you guys. Are you going to make it? You're going to start going? You could do that video podcast on Facebook too. Are you going to do that or no?
We don't handle that side. That's
Oh,
Aaron.
Yeah.
okay.
We sit
Oh,
down in chairs and talk about farming.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So he was like, "Hey, you guys are farmers. Could you be on this show for me?" So it wasn't your idea. You were asked. He approached you to be the on the show.
I'd say that again.
So it wasn't your show to be like he approached
Oh no,
you.
no, it was our show. It was our show. So it really was like one day I said, "Hey, a friend of mine has a couple of mics and a podcast studio. You want to go in there and just talk about farming for a little bit?" And that's how it started. And then I built our own podcast studio, and here we are today.
Yeah.
No, it's our marketing director for Singular. He's the one that he actually owns a media production company, and so he's been able to take what we were doing and I guess help spread it out to a lot more platforms, a lot more people.
That is awesome. Yeah, because it definitely for what is it? I think 46 episodes I saw. That was for that many episodes, the production value and everything. You're going to go far, I think, on that. I that was what I was trying to do when I started my first show about me growing. It wasn't just about me growing; it's about me. I was trying to go out to farms and go out to other friends that grow stuff and show off their grow. It's about popularizing the people that have that passion to grow. And you guys are the exact people I thought of when I thought I want the people that have the knowledge to be out here popularizing it, and as well as me trying to reach out to the people that don't do any of this, that are like, I'll just kill whatever I try to grow, or the average person that doesn't want to try to do any of it. I'm sort of trying to reach both ends, the people that have the knowledge that aren't out there spreading it, and the people that are grow curious, I call it, that maybe should or want to get into more sustainable practices. Does that make sense? So like you guys starting that podcast is great, because there are some agriculture podcasts out there, but we need more entertaining podcasts that are in this. Like there's a lot of entertainment in ag. Like there's a lot of comedy, there's a lot of like ups and downs, and
there's lots of ups and downs.
Yeah, man. We need farmers to be our next celebrities, our next rock stars.
There's a couple of there's reality TV shows. I say reality.
A couple of
not
those,
a whole lot of them's real, but
right.
Done in agriculture. I mean, YouTube's got some tremendous channels on there dedicated to agriculture and life on the farm. Millennial Farmer, he's done a great job. Zach Johnson. I'm trying to think who else. Welkers, they farm in Montana. I'm trying to think. I mean, those are probably the two. Those two are my favorites. Two of my favorites. There's, like I said, there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them. Really, whatever you're interested in. If you're in livestock, there's Peterson Farm Brothers. They do a lot of livestock. They're here in Kansas. Kind of anything that you're interested in ag, it's on there.
I appreciate those, and those are where you would go to find out like more technical, more real information. And the way and where I see myself, I see this as kind of a late night entertainment comedy talk show that's centered around sustainability. So like the sort of nexus, if you will, between the everyday person and the farmers. And as eventually I'll feel like I know more about growing and all that, I'll feel more of an expert. But right now I'm still just the I got lots of questions guy. And so I feel like I'm in a little bit of a unique spot here, because those guys that you just mentioned are the like more polished. I mean, those videos are probably going to be pretty legit as far as learning something from the farm. I'm over here trying to inspire people to go and look at those kind of things and go and check those things out. But also make it more fun and more interesting, because believe it or not, cannabis is not going away, and it's probably going to become legal in all states eventually if we don't, do something insane this year to ourselves already. But my point is, that is the gateway to the average person, that is, especially the average person that uses cannabis, that decides, oh, I can grow it myself now. There's this whole sort of explosion going off in their heads, like I can get all the stuff and I can make it cheaper, and then their mind starts to open up to soil and light and plants and watering and all the things that they start to get interested in, and it then opens them up to, oh, I could grow some lettuce over here too, or I could grow, some basil, or, and so that is, I think, a good thing. It's starting to open people's mind up that maybe we're never going to think about growing anything, and so that's kind of where I feel like I'm at here. I'm in the middle, trying to help popularize it. Most of GrowFam, they just want to hear people talk about cannabis, but I try to push it to them that every person on the planet has to eat, right, guys? We all love food. Right. Food. They don't like to admit it. They just want to see more cannabis, but we got plenty of that on GrowFam. So I'm the oddball on Wednesdays. We got, let's see, 50 or 65 people, guys. Hit that hashtag. Love you, Whale. Thanks, Popeye. Appreciate you. Popeye was up on my show on Monday or last week. Thanks for coming up, Popeye. What's up, Eric? What's up, everybody? Thanks for all the comments. I'm not reading as many tonight because we've got some awesome guests. Let's see if there's any questions for you guys. Okay. But yeah, I can't think of anything else that is pressing other than any new projects that you have coming up, like Aaron was talking about the shift in focus, but I feel like you kind of covered that already, just kind of trying to help farmers not go down some of the same paths. And that's what the podcast is for. But the company itself, though, they do similar things, right? You're kind of out there working with farmers with their land, I guess.
Their operations.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. We're pretty involved at the farm gate level with that. Spend a lot of time with the guys. We meet with several of our guys multiple times a month. So we're always out there working with them.
That's what I want to do, is I want to get out to more farms and showcase what they're doing. Kind of like a review, but more like show off what they got, what they're operating. Although some of them probably wouldn't want to show off their secret sauce. Don't show this, don't show that. I've talked to some farmers, and they basically, some of the older ones, they have it in their head that you have to have a tractor, you have to have all these certain equipment, and I'm out to prove that I can farm, on a massive scale eventually with, indoors, or like you guys were talking about the greenhouses. That's definitely a thing. I don't want to use AI per se, but I do actually have a new app that I'm an affiliate with, and that's called the Garden Hortisketch. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it is it's an app on the computer that will allow you to lay out your whole operation, and gives all sorts of parameters and size and different the type of plant and everything, and it allows you to kind of lay it all out, and then it lets you save that data, and in the future you can change year to year, and you can look back and look at all the data, and it's an insane. I just got into it a little bit, but what do you guys do? What do you use? Some paper? You got you have like a dry erase board in the shop, or
No, when I tell you farmers have a lot more tech in their lives than people give them credit for, that's 100% accurate. I've got one in my tractor. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 monitors and 4 monitors and an iPad. It's all synced into the cloud, recording data to make sure everything's done accurately and recorded as accurately as possible. And we use that in the future to do a better job logging, and use that logged information to improve practices on the farm, see what is beneficial, what isn't beneficial, what logs are yield data, our planting information, all weather, do a ton of weather through that type of tech. But yeah.
What about planning? Well, I guess maybe you wouldn't do this because you already have sort of established, well, maybe you work with other people. So like the planning the operation ahead of time, like what's the preferred method there? Like you have probably have some different apps that you probably use too, but you know what I mean? Like if it's just a field, there's nothing there, not a farm yet. What would you use to plan it out? Is there any cool tools that you guys know of, or?
Yes, we got EC sleds, electric conductivity. They pull them across the ground penetrating radar. We use lab analysis.
Oh, okay. Physical tools. Okay.
Oh,
you're not just looking at it and you're not going, okay, I got this much, and you're not going to put it down on a digital form. I see.
Yeah, we collect actual real-time data. Even some of the planners gather data as they're dragging through the field. They're connecting with ECs and stuff like that, moisture levels. Another thing we've gotten into is geomapping, so we know what bacteria and fungi are present in what numbers, pathogens are present in what numbers. We can keep a lot of that up to date, even insect pressure, eggs counts. There's a lot of things we can do.
That sounds intense. It's like, is that like geocaching where you go around looking for treasure? Have you guys heard of that?
No.
You never heard of that? It's a thing where I've not done it, but I'm probably going to butcher it because I haven't done it, but there's some sort of it's like a club or some kind of an organization that you get into where you go around and find little treasures that people have buried. And when you find it, you then put your own, you take what they left and you put your own there. It's something to that effect. Anybody else out there, comment below if you've heard of the geocaching. Anyway, side conversation, but yeah, so that's cool though. All the tech is so important because when you go out to a farm and you look at the field, that field it's not just a flat square environment, and so you probably have lots of hills and all the different changes of the shape of the land because you may not have an area that's been cleared or whatever. So that's, you got to have a lot of tech, I'm guessing. So anyway, I think we're gonna do this spin here in a minute, guys. What state are you guys in? Did you want to tell me or no? You don't have to tell me.
We're both in Kansas.
Kansas.
Right in the middle.
I've never been to Kansas. Been to a few states, but never been to Kansas. I've been to Iraq. Is it anything like that?
Some days it feels like it.
Hot and dry. No, are there forests in Kansas?
No.
I think there is one in the east, isn't there, Josh?
If you get close to Missouri, you get a lot more timber, but no, it's pretty wide open expanses out here, grasslands and farmland.
Giant farms, yeah, Robert. Yep. New York, upstate, Frank. Okay. I haven't been out there, but I've always thought about like maybe Utah or something. I don't know why. It's like somewhere
been there. Beautiful state.
Oh, Popeye does geocaching. Okay. It's a treasure hunt. But then you got to leave something. That's the part that gets me. It's like, can I just leave a rock each time? Take what they got. And are you on locals? I am not, Paul. That is only on a Sunday. Sunday nights, the Indoor Farmer game night, 5:30 Central Time. That's when we're going to be on locals every Sunday now. That's how you get to play. Trying to think. Oh yeah, so let's run this commercial. Actually, I got a couple new commercials that I didn't run yet before we do this Canna Connect giveaway. Sir Steve-O has loaded them in here for me. Thank you, Sir Steve-O. Where is it? No, he must be loaded somewhere else. We'll just run this. Foop mist. Actually, no. I'm going to play you guys a special treat. I made my own commercial by request, but we're going to play this commercial I have. I don't know if I talked to you guys about it yet, but Grow Fam is sponsored by a company called Foop. And Foop is mostly, the fish emulsion on a large scale. But they've also come out with a bunch of other products, some inoculated biochar with the Foop and some other things like that. The Foop mist spray, and that's what this commercial is, if I can find it. That's annoying. I thought I had. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, let's play this. It's a couple minutes long. Give me a break and give me a drink. What do you guys think? Do you have a little bit more time to go or to hang out, or you want to wrap it up?
I need to get running here pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah. No worries at all. We're pretty chill here. Sorry, Ben.
I got a 3.5 hour drive yet tonight. So
wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys, we'll get you guys out of here, and then I'll play this commercial, and then we'll do the giveaway. How about that? So I know it's been a little all over the place, but I have a lot of questions. So we'll probably talk again. But you guys, thank you very much. Yep. Are you looking to grow your personal followings on Facebook? Does Ben and Josh need to follow, or what?
I'm not on Facebook a whole lot anymore. I mean, we're just trying to grow the network of farmers. Podcast is the main thing we're working on growing right now.
Okay. Yeah. Wait Farm Podcast, guys. Go check them out. Definitely. Thank you guys again. And tell Aaron I said thanks. And I'm sure I'll be in contact with you guys at some point in the near future. Sure. Anything before you got to go? I'm gonna boop you out as soon as you say you're good.
I think they get
appreciate it. Yeah, just appreciate everybody's being on, and catch you later.
Yeah, they had that. Everybody really got interested. I think there's a lot of good questions. So if you want to go back and read some of the comments, I'm sure there's some good things, and you can always respond and that stuff. So thanks a lot, Ben and Josh, guys. Thanks everybody.
All right, guys. See you.
You guys later.
All right. Excellent. That was fun. And, I always feel like I'm all over the place with the questions, but they always come to me as I'm sitting there, That was a good one. That was a good one. Now let's play this commercial. I'm going to heat up another little medicinal intake, and we're going to pull up the comments on the screen. I guess I could have done that a little bit ago. There we go. So informative. Thanks, Robert. I hope I did well getting some good questions in there, guys. Thank you all for the patience. Oh yeah, get that hashtag in. Let me pull that back up here. This one. Oh yeah, I was going to play this commercial. All right, I'm going to heat up a dab while we play this Foop Mist commercial. Tell me what you guys think. I put my heart and soul into this. What's up, everybody? Waylon the Indoor Farmer here. Just want to let you guys know how I started to use the Foop Mist spray. Let's get it going. Foop Mist spray. Ready to use, guys. Organic foliar spray made from fish poo. Let's see. What does it say to do? Directions. Shake well prior to each use. Let's see. For clone seedlings and your young plants, apply one light spray from 6 to 12 inches away. Aim slightly above the plant to mist rains down on them. Rain down on them. For mature plants, spray all areas directly until moist. FOOP mist can be applied as frequently as daily or periodically as needed. To avoid spotting on your plants, spray just before lights are turned off for indoor plants or just before sunset for outdoor plants. Do not use on very dry or dehydrated plants. Do not use on flowering or blooming cannabis or hemp plants. Store in a cool, dark place. Cheers, food. As needed. Oh. All right. That was fun. Let's do that and that. There we go. That was some major shit spraying. Actually, it smells very minty fresh. It smells very minty fresh, guys. Back now? All right, Popeye. Cheers, guys. Get that hashtag in. We're going to do a couple of dabaroonies here. And Sir Steve-O, I didn't get those commercials. I might have to switch it up, but we could play the Foop Mist commercial again. It's okay. We just played my Foop Mist commercial. It was so much better. So I was kind of yelling in the video because I had a bunch of fans around me, so I was worried that you wouldn't be able to hear it. Gerald, you got to put a C in front of that, brother. You put a Anna Connect instead of Canna Connect. All right, guys, we got the red hot terpy slurpee going on here. Let's do it. Yeah, that was interesting, trying to interview two people at one time, trying to make sure that they both had a chance to speak. Very, very intriguing. Intriguing. All right. What's banana dance, Eric? Banana dance. Banana dance. All right, everyone who is doing the late night dab with me. This is our nightcap. This is the nightcap. Cheers, everyone. What do you guys think of my ship? I hope I didn't freak out the boys doing a dab, but you know, it is part of the normalization process. If I had a beer sitting here, nobody would bat an eye, right? Yeah, you might be right, Perry. Thanks for the vote of confidence, though. But still, you know, I'm an illegal zone medicinal user. It's pretty sure that like the Tonight Show and such, I'm pretty sure they'd have like a little rock glass, with some brandy or whatever. They had something with them. This is the new nightcap. Just saying. Be me. Yeah, you're right, Popeye. You're right. You're right. That's why we should do another one. And let's see, we're at 136. 65 people on. Well, that's probably just X stacking them up. Oh, it's not. It is not. Interesting. X was doing having some issues, but it looks like maybe they fixed it. Oh, sorry. I'm telling you, start a podcast. This is my pod. This is a show. This is a podcast right now. I do 5 shows a week, and you could call them podcasts. You could call them vodcasts, video podcasts, as it were. What do you mean no? No, for real? What do you mean? Bro, I've done a show for over 2 years now. And this show specifically, I don't even know because I don't number this one. I would have to go by. I'm sure it's 50 something now. Are you still talking to me, Popeye? I'm confused, brother. I do a podcast. I do 5 every week. Do you mean I shouldn't be live? Should I do it recorded? What's up, Tasha? Get that Canna Connect in there. Not lives. No, I make my intro. I make all my digital. What do you like? These are produced. Okay. I just do them live in one take. Get awesome guests. We do sometimes on We Grow Wednesday, we'll talk about like different news that's going on that day in agriculture. Sometimes, but like then the show that you were on Monday, that's a podcast. That's called The Indoor Farmer, episode 126 we're at now. Goodness gracious. Good to see y'all. Thanks, Tasha. Heck yeah. No, like start your own podcast like app. You mean I should start an app? Can watch it on podcast or whatever. Don't say that to yourself, brother. Don't worry about it, man. Like I do a lot of shows already. I do 5 shows a week, guys. All on my page. If you're not following my page on Facebook there, Waylon the Indoor Farmer. If you're over there on Rumble, please hit that like and follow button. Appreciate it. If you feel like you should have the freedom to speak, I should have the freedom to use whatever medicines that I deem fit. and I guess up to and including up to externalities. I'm not a big fan of externalities. I don't feel like we should legalize PCP or anything like that. I'm just saying, the only externalities with cannabis are that you may go and eat a little bit too much. There are some, you might have some more fender benders and accidents. I'm not gonna lie, but you don't have a whole lot more like, fatal accidents. Colorado actually did have an uptick in like emergency room visits, but that was mostly people that were like they didn't know what it meant to be stoned, and they were like, they went to go to the emergency room because they were freaked out. What do I do? Just relax and sniff this pepper. Oh, come on. The pill is sticky. The pill is sticky. Guys, I've been playing my show on rerun, on replay, on Rumble and X and YouTube and Kick and Twitch. So if anybody's bored and they're just, doing some dishes or whatever, they want to throw something on, appreciate jumping through there and, hitting that button, maybe saying hi. I'll pop in and I say hi throughout the day too to whoever's in there. It's pretty cool. It's like my own TV channel. So if you guys, anybody out there wants to advertise on it, let me know. Oh, looks like we've got a friend in the backstage. Come on up, Sir Steve-O. Cheers. Loading in some. It's okay. I won't be here much longer. We're going to be doing the giveaway here soon. We'll put on some tunes again. Oh, the sax. The sax out there for the last little bit. It's all good, Papa. Yeah, I do. I don't love calling it a podcast, but it's basically a video podcast. But I call it a show because it would be. I mean, you can listen only, but doing things like those. Well, we want in for an advertising. I sent you a friend request. Okay, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got 5 different platforms where I play my replays all through the day until my next show, and then all weekend. Well, girlfriend. Another wonderful We Grow Wednesday. I feel like this is when I'm supposed to put my sweater back on and my loafers, and then I make sure that the door's locked and gather up all the puppets. Like Mr. Rogers. Okay, fam, won't you be my fan? Guys, if you're not yet already, go sign up on locals.com. It's less than $2 a month for indoor farmer.locals. Why not? I mean, you guys got me, right? All right, let's do that hash. Okay, we got 30 seconds. Haven't got in on the hashtag. Guys, remember, you can hashtag the same hashtag over on Rumble, on GrowFam Rumble, Indoor Farmer Rumble, GrowFam Rumble, Indoor Farmer YouTube, GrowFam YouTube, Indoor Farmer Facebook, and the GrowFam Facebook. Hit them all. And hit all the like buttons too. Get me done. No, don't say that. Papa. You must finish. Let's see if this here. And you guys want to see some different spaceship? I have another spaceship that I talk to you guys while we're waiting for this 2 seconds here. So we're gonna that's that one. That's a different one too. There we go. There we go. This one changes. Sure, yeah. So that's the other one. I need to do this. Hit them all. Like if only a few people are wanting it, then why not? So, yeah. Testes. No, it looks like it's working. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Better. Lower. Margaret, congrats. Were you here earlier? You did win. Did you see that? Margaret won the 34 Mongrels. Did you guys see the thumbnail today? No hat. There's no hat thumbnail. Just about to code 1 you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the code 1. Remember that. Okay, I turned the mic. Is it okay now? Am I still? Can you still hear me? All right. Let's do this hashtag. Make me want to do one more dab just for the fun that we're having. Okay, what is it? You know, we're 3 minutes to the 1 hour, 50-minute mark. I'll wait to the 50-minute mark. Let's do a dab. What do you guys think? Popeye, thanks, bro. Popeye and whale. Don't fight the whales. Oh, my dehumidifier is full. Bladder's full. I want to get that automated. It would be great. Great. The camera's so far over now. I have to go over. I have to look over here. All right, Paul. All right. So I don't know if the boys at Singular can share this cast just from the dab usages, because they seem to be pretty stand-up guys. I wouldn't begrudge them that for sure. But I definitely want to pick their brain more and learn more from what they're doing, because like I said, I don't see. I mean, there are some good farming videos, but oh geez. I think nicknames are awesome. I don't have nicknames. I've never had a nickname. Twenty 25 seconds. 30 seconds. It was an awesome podcast, Popeye. It was a live podcast. 15 seconds. Whales. I don't know if it'll stick. 3 seconds. Good luck, everybody. Officially, good luck. Robert Auten. Robert Auten. No tagging, please. No tagging. Is Robert Auten here? Are you here, Robert? Speak now. Or forever. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Oh, I see you, bro. I see you right there. Congrats, Robert. I was trying to do something, but it didn't work out. I think we're going to put this over here. There we go. And we're going to close that so that you guys can see the glory of what I did here. So I put together a whole string of different videos of space stuff, and I put this spaceship over it. So feast thine eyes on all these videos. What's up, Robert? Doing well, brother. We're going to be, well, we're just doing a last little medicinal intake. Asteroids. Huh? Yeah, I'll write that down in just a moment there, Robert. That could be very, very nice for you. Right, Olive? Like, I like the other ship better, but I like that I can put different backgrounds on this one, you know? Like, this ship's kind of more solo ship, kind of, but the other ship was definitely cool for... The other ship, actually, I was going to put them in the other ship with me, but it didn't, you know, it was going to be kind of difficult, but... Well, Popeye, bro, I you know, like, that means a lot to me. If you want to be part of the community, bro, you just have to join my little private club over there on Locals. That's the real place. Those are the real people that, you know, that back me right there. I feel like I'm offending somebody at this point, but that's you know, Facebook's one thing, and likes and shares and stuff, that's great, but for $20 you can get a full year of winning hundreds of dollars of stuff. Like, that alone is worth it fits all 60 people in here going and joining, but it's like, it's hard for me to you know, what's the word, first of all, you can't force people, but it's hard for me to get across the value to people. It's like, for $20 you can win hundreds of dollars. It's like, it's insane. But hey, what can I do? Just keep plugging away, keep making game night better and better. Game night's fun, but we can't get anyone that wants to come on screen to be a team captain now. It's crazy. Timothy and Michelle, they played twice in a row. Well, we had a sponsor game in between there, so it wasn't exactly in a row, but basically in a row. But man, we have fun, don't we, guys? Timothy, you're still here, right? I didn't see Michelle. Maybe she might have went to bed. If you put my name, let's rerun it. I'm not sure what you mean. What platform is that, Robert? What do you mean, brother? Cheers, everybody. Stop, you guys. Goodness gracious, you're going to make a boy blush over here. It is frustrating, but I believe, believe the tides will turn, and I won't be getting stifled in the algorithm for this device right here one day, or at least on some apps it's that way. The stigma is real. Tell you what, though, the pills the VA used to give me definitely are not things I want to be taking. I bumped the mic. Did my voice change? Did my voice change? Did my voice change, you guys? Popeye, no worries, brother. This is we're all about Grow Fam and Grow Fam Homestead on Wednesdays. But if anybody at all wants to join my group, it is Maccabees Live Market, presented by Waylon the Indoor Farmer. So it is just a private group that I go live in, and I share my lives in, and nobody else shares anything in it. It's just for that. It's just for an at everyone for my shows and such. So it's one way on Facebook anyway. But if you're okay with getting out of Facebook, I mean, go find me elsewhere too. Find me on X. Find me on Locals. Oh, I forgot to ask the boys about farmersonly.com. Cannabis industry. Yeah, there was one. I believe I think it got nixed though. Organics Alive. I believe it was called Weed Tube, and I think it got stopped if I'm not mistaken. I think I just seen a UFO close to your ship. I'll be digging this trip, huh? That one that you can mention was $20. That one that I mentioned was $20. What one that I mentioned? I'm sorry. The 1 year is $20 for my community on Locals, which is not Facebook. It gets you away from the trolls and the spam and the haters. It's $2 a month, or if you pay for a year, it's $20. Rumble, try Rumble again. It's good stuff too. Yeah, Rumble is good. It's it's just a good diversifying place to find different points of view. Good night, Popeye. Thanks, brother. Yeah, I remember that. But I mean, like an app, like we're all using. Now the app is free. I might be misunderstanding there. I'll give you a second. That's it. I provided a link. Yeah. Yep. That is my link. theindoorfarmer.locals.com. And Locals is free, and you can actually join the community for free and be a member, but you wouldn't be a paid subscriber, which then puts you into the games and everything else. And so, yeah. Like for some reason, I've been floating around the same number up and down for a while. I don't know why people are leaving. It's like you just participate, and then you've won over a year's worth of membership. I don't understand. You trade a pack of seeds to one person for like half price, and then that person got a deal, and then you made more back than you paid for multiple months, and it's like a quadruple win. It's crazy. I'm all about the win-wins, you guys. What's up, Diane? Chill Bar has opened in Atlanta, Georgia. They now are serving the THC chilled drink. Interesting. So it's just one, just a drink. It's just that one signature drink. Is that what you're saying? Oh crap, we're in a meteor storm. That's interesting though. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia's not that far away. Yeah, the way game night works now, guys, is through locals, which you had to be a member of anyway. But now we're live on locals for game night. So the way that I find the players is you go into locals during the stream, is during the live, and comment on the stream, and boom, that way I know you're a paid supporter, and I can, I don't have to worry about it with pizza and other stuff. Well, right. Okay. I mean, I'm okay. I didn't mean that. I meant like, that's the only THC related item. So they have a THC drink, is it? But then they have others, other bar and food and beverages and things. All right, we're at that 2-hour mark. Everybody, what do we got? Let's see. Let's check it. Let's check in on the Rumble, since we I don't really have to look at Rumble as much, other than the number. Yeah, there's some cool ones that I put in here, like a Orange Planet. If you're listening to this podcast, you'll want to watch it as well, because this is some cool shit. What's up, Chuck? The makeup artist is fired again. How about now? No. It was all I could do just to make everything look like it wasn't choppy. Watch, let's see. I'll give it a try, Chuck. Chuck Rock, I was gonna get going, but if you want to come up, that'll be the only reason I stay. If you come up for a dab, Chuck Rock. All right, look, I'm gonna show you. I can't change it much. Change the brightness, maybe. That's about it. Like this, maybe a little bit of the. No. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, really. Like that, maybe that's a little better. I highly doubt it, though. No, I just have lights all over because of the green screen. But I appreciate your support, brother. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. It's been fun. It's been real. But I gotta run. Oh, look, we're going by the International Space Station now. Love my mail today. You talking to someone else there? Okay. Well, congrats, Frank, on the mail from Chuck today, I'm guessing. Wes. Well, shit. Well, yeah, you're a little late, bro. I'm sorry. What's that, Gerald? No, that's fine, Chuck. I'm just going to disappear. Diane, let's go. Ordered the whole set of food. All right. All right. I'm down with that. Eject. Actually, here you go. I got it. Here you go. I'll do that for you. Wait. I'll do it. I'll do it. Oh. Should be here tomorrow. Okay. Getting that whole food order. Wait. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, 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 boop, beep, beep. Do it, he says. Do it. Oh, yeah? Don't tempt me. You don't tempt me. All right. I got to get my outro and go. I can't find it because I can't see through something that I have in my way. Oh, you missed all the fun, Smashley. We took off. We launched. We're in outer space now. We're going to the Wonka planet at the end of the Willy Wonka movie, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They get into the glass elevator, right? That glass elevator, actually, there's a sequel book to the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and that sequel is about them taking that glass elevator, I believe, to another planet, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what we're inside of right now. Where's all the fucking chocolate, Charlie? All right. I need to find a video file. So yeah, this one changes. It goes through about 20 minutes. Exactly, actually. I want candy, Gerald. Okay. I want candy in outer space. I want candy and I want outer space. Both. Okay. That's it for me, guys. Remember, keep it organic and check out the growfam.com relaunch coming up soon. And make sure you check out the FOOP discount, GrowFam 10. I'm sorry, I believe it's GrowFam 10. Don't quote me on that. There is a discount, though. Ask about it if you want it. Also, if you want a discount on the growfam.com, WTIF 10, it's always a good one. And come and check me out tomorrow night on People in the Boxes. We don't have a exact topic yet, but we always find something fun and interesting to argue about. It's always a fun argument. It's a very cordial argument, you might say. And you guys get to argue in the comments. It's always fun. Oh, this one's good too. I like this one. Look at this. What is going on there? Is it a planet, or is that another? Is it like a? Whoa. Remember as well, everybody, every single person on the planet has to eat.